Hello, today in less than 5 minutes, K&G International Advisors will bring you up to speed on the international financial markets. This week's report is entitled, Retirement Security, the Challenge We Can Actually Solve. During this week's State of the Union address, President Trump raised an issue that rarely gets primetime attention: retirement security. Buried between applause lines was an acknowledgement that half of all working Americans lack access to an employer-sponsored retirement plan. His proposed solution, a new savings account with a $1,000 annual federal match, signals something important. Policymakers are beginning to take this seriously. The numbers do paint a challenging picture. The median American worker has just $955 saved through a defined contribution plan, and some 56 million private sector employees work for companies that don't offer one at all. Nearly 40% of workers aged 61 to 65 are on track for a comfortable retirement, meaning the majority still have work to do. But here's what those headlines often miss: the tools to change this trajectory exist, and they're more accessible than most people realize. Compound growth is, at its core, a story of optimism. A 30-year-old who saves £200 monthly for 40 years, assuming 7% annual growth, accumulates roughly £525,000 by retirement. Start 5 years earlier, at 25, and that figure climbs to £758,000, a £233,000 difference generated by contributions totaling just £12,000 more. The maths rewards action taken sooner, and that's actually encouraging news. For most working adults today, sooner is still very much available. The key insight isn't that retirement saving is hard, it's that it's invisible when you're doing it right. Automating contributions means you barely notice the reduction in take-home pay. The real challenge isn't financial, it's psychological. Treating retirement savings as a fixed expense rather than a discretionary one is the single most powerful habit a working adult can develop. Yes, the economic landscape is shifting. AI and automation are reshaping employment across sectors, and career interruptions are more common than they once were. But this cuts both ways. The same technological forces creating disruption are also generating new industries, new roles, and new opportunities. Workers who anticipate change and build flexible financial foundations are far better positioned to navigate it. Meanwhile, advances in healthcare mean we're likely to live longer, which makes funding those extra years more important. Rather than treating longevity as a burden, it's worth reframing it. More time means more opportunity to contribute, adapt, and benefit from growth in well-diversified long-term investments. The Trump administration's proposed universal savings account deserves genuine attention, separate from the usual political noise. Portable, low-cost, and index-based, modeled on the thrift savings plan already used by federal employees, it could provide access to millions currently shut out of the system. As Teresa Ghilarducci, a retirement policy researcher, described it, a meaningful step toward universal coverage. Even critics of the proposal acknowledge its merits. Helping people start accumulating anything, no matter how late, allows them to benefit from compound growth. A modest improvement in access at scale can have significant effects over time. Combined with increased financial literacy in workplace programs, these structural changes can shift the trajectory meaningfully. Government programs help, but the most powerful lever remains personal. If you're in your 20s or 30s, begin immediately. Contribute what you can, then push slightly beyond your comfort zone. Automate the process so it requires no ongoing willpower. Time is your most valuable asset, more valuable than picking the right funds, more valuable than any matching contribution. If you're in your 40s or 50s and feel behind, take heart. It's not too late to make a meaningful difference. Increasing your savings rate, even modestly, combined with a realistic assessment of your timeline, can close gaps that seem daunting. A conversation with a financial advisor at this stage isn't a luxury, it's a practical necessity. If you're approaching retirement with less than you'd hoped, flexibility becomes the strategy. Continued part-time work, adjusted expectations, and careful spending management are real options that many people find more manageable and more fulfilling than they anticipated. The fact that 79% of Americans recognize retirement as a national priority is itself progress. Awareness precedes action. A president putting this issue on a national stage, bipartisan researchers developing workable solutions, and a generation of younger workers who've grown up hearing about the importance of savings are all reasons for cautious optimism. The crisis is real, but so is our capacity to address it. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today.